Well, good morning. Hey, we are here with Chris Whitehead. He is the owner and operator of Granite State Contracting here in New Hampshire. And Chris, so welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Rob, I appreciate you having me. Thanks for having me.
All right, so this is going to be actually the first in a series of interviews. And so, Chris, before we get started too far down this, why don't you tell people a little bit about, and again, just kind of a little bit of background about, so how did you get into remodeling homes here in New Hampshire?
Well, it's a long and circuitous road, probably like most people that own a business. But when I was 24 years old, actually, I started in North Carolina, and I began, believe it or not, I was working in the corporate world, and I was flipping through the yellow pages, and in the back office, and I was looking to mow lawns for people. I wanted to start a side business, and I ended up hooking up with a realtor, and he said, "I don't have any lawns to mow, but I do have a countertop that I want you to install." And here we are 20 some years later, building additions, kitchens, bathrooms,
Wow.
pretty much anything on people's homes. And we've moved from North Carolina. We then moved to Virginia. The recession was extremely hard on us and every contractor in Virginia.
Sure.
And, I ended up taking a brief pause for about 3 years and worked for a design build company in Nashua, New Hampshire. And everything that I didn't know about business, I literally learned in the 3 years working for a really successful company. And we've been out on our own here in New Hampshire ever since. And, our goal and our slogan is professional remodelers with a personal touch. And
Ah,
I take that very seriously because over the last 20 years of being a remodeler, the number one thing that I found is communication is something that is highly overrated with contractors. They tend not to answer people. They tend to show up and do jobs when they want to. They tend to end the jobs when they want to. And they're not sensitive to the fact that this is someone's home. And one of the things that I've really made it a point to offer all of our clients and even our prospective clients
uh-huh.
is to let them know that there is a link of communication from when we first begin talking all the way through the finish of the job, so that people understand that we really actually care about what we're producing inside of their home. And it's been a blast for everyone on the team.
Yeah. So when you say a link of communication, one thing that I personally, when I had my bathroom remodeled, and it was a complete remodel. I mean, it was all the way to the studs. During the first week or two, it was great because they were out here almost every single day, and then suddenly they didn't show up, and
Right.
and then I would call, and then sometimes they wouldn't return my phone call for like a day. So when you talk about link of communication, how important is it for you that people know about how you get back to them in terms of communication?
So, and this is how this actually came about. I've always been a communicative person, but when my business was a lot smaller, it would be one customer at a time, pretty easy to manage and handle. When I started working for the design build company up here, one of the things that I started doing as an enhancement as a salesperson inside of that company, I was like, you know what, I should get testimonials. I just should. I mean, we're doing these really high-end jobs,
Sure.
and I'm making friends with these clients, and I had a little bit of an unfair advantage. I'm a salesman in a company that's owned a company, so my perspective is on this holistic approach. I feel responsible for the whole job, not just making a commission. Well, I started getting testimonials, and it was client after client that kept saying, "Chris is the most communicative contractor that I've ever spoken with. Chris is the
Wow.
most communicative person." He was Johnny on the spot. And I started saying, wow, that's a key. So the things that I've put in place, and this is subject to change based upon where we are in the future, but something that will always be in place in my company. Uh, each one of our customers, if we're running 3 to 4 to 5 jobs at a time, everyone has my direct cell phone number, and I do receive and accept text messages at 9, 10 o'clock at night. They're usually not long conversations, but you know what? What I found is that sometimes we have a homeowner, a husband and a wife team. The wife is a little bit more aware, possibly if she's at home, of what's going on. The husband comes home, we've already left for the day,
Sure.
and he's confused about something that's going on. Instead of them staying anxious all night long and letting that build and not letting them sleep, I make them aware that they can just send me a quick message. And sometimes we're able to just handle things that, they're not aware of what's going on. We're able to handle it right there in a 5-minute spot. I go to sleep well, they go to sleep well. My guys show up to the job the next day and they're comfortable. It really levels that playing field so that these weird emotions don't end up occurring and throwing the job off. And here's directly to your point. They just started not showing up. We never not show up. It's not, and if we don't show up, it's a pre-arranged thing, letting the homeowner be in control of that. But I have a friend that says how you do anything is how you do everything. And the truth is, it's not just in the construction world. Most people are focused in on what they do and how they do it and what it brings to them. I think the success model in construction, as well as any business, is when you stay employee-centric and you stay customer-centric and you remember that you're in their home, that you're doing work for them, that you're a trusted consult, not just somebody who's there to make money. The approach that you take and the availability that you make yourself for other people becomes a paramount, and people truly appreciate that, especially when you're working on probably one of the, it's their sanctuary, it's their home.
Yeah.
And I found not only a lot of success with that, I found that I'm able to avoid a lot of problems that other people run into just from that simple thing. It's a really simple tip, but we use it,
All right. Well, listen, that's all the time we have for this particular segment. We're going to be doing a series of these. So thank you. And when we get back next time, we've actually had a number of questions that come in. So thanks, Chris. And we'll talk to you in the next segment. Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah.